Hello everyone and welcome to another Devlog video for Homegrown, the casual farming game I'm making using my own engine. And this week I'm going to be working on the final update to the town area, which I've been working on for for over 6 months now. And I'm going to be finishing it up this week with a new feature for the farmers market. First up, I thought I should quickly remind you of how the farmers market works at the moment. So the farmers market takes place just once a week on Sundays, and there you can buy a stall and put your produce up for sale. You get to choose the price, and then your produce will sell throughout the day depending on the price that you chose. You can also buy upgrades for your stall, which will help you to sell more during market day. So you can get these produce boxes, which give you more selling slots, and these stall upgrade kits, which upgrade the stall itself and essentially increase the demand for your produce. There's also one other feature that I'm actually going to be replacing this week, and that is that each week a random set of vegetables is trending and they just sell a lot faster than usual. I did this to try and add a bit more strategy when it comes to choosing which vegetables to put on sale, but after playtesting I realised that it didn't really do that. The strategy was always just sell your trending items first and then sell any other items if you still have time. So this week I'm going to replace it with a new feature that will hopefully add some more interesting decision making. So I'm ready to get started. I spent most of yesterday planning out this new feature in quite a lot of detail, and I've got the task breakdown here in Trello. So first up, I'm going to program all of the backends for this feature, which is going to take a couple of days probably, so I'll see you when that's done. So I've just implemented the very basics of this new feature, which is going to be all about marketing boosts that you can apply to your farmers market stall. And there are going to be all different types of marketing, all of which will have different effects. I've just created a simple test one here. This marketing increases the sales of your root vegetables by 50%. So I'm going to apply this to my market stall. Obviously I need some visuals here of the banner showing next to the stall in the 3D world. I'll be doing that next. But now that I've applied that marketing, you can see that all of my root vegetables have this little icon next to them, and that indicates that they're now selling faster thanks to the marketing. And I still need to make some changes to the UI here. Somewhere it should show what marketing effect is currently active. And as I said, I need some visuals in the 3D world as well for when you've got marketing applied, but I'll be doing both of those things soon. I've just been finishing up today on a little bit of a side quest relating to the seed icons, which I've never been particularly happy with, specifically with the vegetables icon on the seed packet. And I just had an idea that it might look better with simple 2D icons, which I already have for all of the vegetables anyway, because I'm using them on the vegetable medals from the vegetable competition update. So I tried them on the seed packets, and I think they look a bit better like this. I think it's just a bit cleaner. Like if you compare these two icons for the leek seeds, I think it's an improvement. Speaking of seeds, it's coming up to spring now, so I've recently been planning what vegetables I'm going to be growing on my balcony this year, and I'm just going to pop down to the garden shop now and buy the seeds for them. Good morning everyone, it is 8:30 on quite a snowy Thursday morning, and today my task is just to get these marketing banners to show up in the 3D world when you apply marketing to your stall, which might seem like quite an easy task, but I have a feeling this is going to take a while, but we'll see. So the first part of this is simple enough. In Blender I've just created these test marketing banners. I've added them to the market stall, but I've added them as their own renderable part, and this just allows me to show or hide those marketing models independently of the rest of the stall. So then in the game, when I apply some marketing to the stall, it then just shows those marketing models. Obviously these banners are looking a little bit empty at the moment. I'd like them to show the icon of the marketing. Each different type of marketing is going to have its own icon, and those should be displayed in the banners here. I'm going to be implementing that next, and to do that I need to implement support for rendering textured models into my engine, because I don't actually have support for that at the moment, which sounds crazy because it's a pretty basic topic. But as you can see, nothing in my game is textured, so I've never needed it, so I've never implemented it. But that's what I need to do now, get into the engine code and implement texturing. Finally got the textured rendering working so I can show the icons on the banners now, but it's taken ages. It was a lot of engine work. There's a long process that models have to go through from being a model in Blender to being displayed on the screen, and I had to go through pretty much every step of this process and make some changes to each part of it, from my model file format to the importers, the exporters, converting it into bytes for storing in OpenGL, the model atlas, the render components, batching before rendering, the renderer, the shaders. It all needed changing and updating and adding to allow for the textured rendering. So it took ages, but it's finally done. So it's all coming along quite nicely. I've now made it so that the icon and the color of the banners comes from the marketing that you're using. So if I apply this root veg marketing, then it shows the root veg icon using the root veg colors. But if I instead were to use the evening rush marketing, it would show that icon and those colors instead. By the way, I just wanted to explain that the only texture that actually gets applied to this model is the icon for the marketing, and that essentially gets overlaid on top of the model, and the rest of the model is just colored normally like the rest of the scene. And when I say that it's colored normally, I just mean that each vertex has a set color associated with it instead of it getting its color from an external texture. That only happens for these two little parts here. Just been creating some proper icons for these marketing items, and to do this I start with the model in Blender. I then use my icon creation program to convert that into a nice cel shaded icon with an outline, which I can then export. Unfortunately, this program doesn't currently support adding textures to the model before rendering them. It will do soon, now that I've added that to the engine, but I just haven't implemented it into the icon creation program yet. So that means that for now I had to manually add the marketing icon onto the banner, but that's fine, doesn't take too long. And then here are the resulting icons. Just been making a few little changes to the market stall UI. So it now shows you what marketing you've currently got active. So if I apply some marketing to my stall, that now gets displayed in the bottom right here. And I can also mouse over it to remind myself of what effect that has on my sales. Also, some marketing types apply a buff to your entire stall, like this one. This gives you a 5% boost for every type of produce you have on sale. So if I put some produce on sale, you can see that buff now gets shown here. And if I remove it, that buff gets removed. So I think this UI is pretty much done now. Pretty happy with it. And tomorrow I'm going to be moving on to the final part of this update. Just before I get started today, I want to plant my first vegetables of the year, which is going to be the tomatoes. I'm going to have them growing indoors first because it's still freezing at the moment, but when the weather gets warmer later in the spring, I'll move them out onto the balcony. So getting to work now, and today I'm going to be moving on to the final part of this update, which is just about how you get the marketing items in the first place. And you're going to be able to buy them from the shops, but it's going to be a little bit different from usual, because each week the shop is just going to offer you a choice of 3 random marketing types, and you'll be able to choose one of them. So I need to do quite a bit of work in the shop code today in order to get that to work. I've just spent the last 2 days working through a lot of shop codes, because up until now all of the shops were just designed to have a set list of items that they display in a single grid. And now this new shop has quite a few exceptions to that. Firstly, I had to allow for showing multiple sections in the shop. Then I had to introduce this concept of only allowing the player to buy one per week, and once you've bought one, the rest are sold out. And if I then speed up time to go to the next week, the shop had to be able to restock with 3 new random marketing choices. Obviously I don't have enough marketing items in the game yet because you're seeing repeats every week, but you get the idea. So I'm pretty much finished with this feature now, so let me give you a quick demo of the whole thing in action. So it's Monday morning in the game, and I'm going to go into town and have a look at what marketing options are available for me this week. It's always 3 random choices each week, and I like that random aspect because it means that the player has to somewhat react and adapt to the situation that the game provides you with, rather than you being able to choose the same marketing every single week. So let's say that I decide to go with the leek soup marketing, and I don't have to buy it right now. And I now have the whole week to prepare for the farmer's market, so I'm probably going to want to grow a lot of leeks and carrots and potatoes this week to make the most of that marketing. So let's now speed forward to market day. I'm going to buy that leek soup marketing, and I like the fact that these cost money because it adds a bit of a kind of risk and reward element. You could potentially make a loss if you don't sell enough, so you have to decide if it's worth it, if you've prepared well enough this week. So I'm going to set up my stall now, put up these banners, and I've now got that marketing boost applied. So let's start selling some produce. And this marketing is quite an interesting one because you only get the boost if all 3 vegetables are on your stall at the same time, like this. So you don't want one of them to sell out too quickly, otherwise you'll lose the boost. So I might want to set a higher price for these carrots so that they sell a bit slower because there are less of them. Or that might be a waste of a selling slot. I guess it depends what else you've got to sell that day. So there's a bit more strategy involved with this than there was with the old trending items. And then of course, if we jump forward to the next day, we have a new set of marketing options to choose from for this week. So each farmer's market ends up being a little bit different, a little bit unique. So that is finally it for the entire town gameplay update. I've been working on it for over 6 months now. You might remember the town used to look like this, with just a few simple shops. The first thing I changed was to make the town side-scrolling. I felt that in a game without a playable character, this made more sense as a way of presenting the options to the player. The town's now full of villagers, which you can talk to get information about how to use the town features. Every Sunday, of course, there's the farmer's market, where you can have your stall. The vegetable competition is also open on Sundays, where you can essentially gamble your premium tier vegetables for a chance to win some big prizes, including collectible medals, which you can then display in your home area to increase your reputation. During the week there's also the restaurant feature, which gives you orders for specific vegetables that you can complete if you want to make some extra profit. And I also added a few new shops to the town, like the raw materials shop and the second-hand shop, where you can sell any of your used items that you don't need anymore for a knockdown price. I'm sure I'll still come back to the town again and tweak bits and polish stuff off before release, especially the graphics when I do the graphical update. But in terms of gameplay features, I've now done everything that I had planned. So next week I'm going to be moving back to the farming gameplay, and I've saved some of the most exciting features till last, so I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into that next week. So that's going to be it for this video. Sorry it's been a bit of a wait since the last one. This was just a pretty big update, lots of programming, and I also had the flu in February, which put me back about a week. But if you do want to see more updates in between videos, I'm posting quite a bit more on Instagram now, so you can always have a look on there if you want to see what I'm working on in between devlogs. Before I finish, I want to say a big thank you to the top Patreon supporters from last month, who were Marcus Rechel, Viechchu, Daryl Zuniga, Kevin Schau, Peter Westhazen, Ingo Moore, Henning KO, Helson Taveras, Andrew Romans, Marais, Shadeless Fox, Kimo Tamio, Coda the Tyler, Ross from 2 Minute Tabletop, Nikat Asgazada, Zanil Ambakar, Atomic Code, Walden Yan, Chris Naismith, Alan Lance, Wonuff, Dieter Reinert, Harry Chung, John Needham, Christoph Herpo, Matthias Bader, Hagen Vingard, Matthew Connaughton, Miggy Doze, Marek Mikolajczyk, Sean McCrory, Caffeine Coder, Timothy Gibbons, and Neil Blakey Milner. So a massive thank you to you guys and to everyone else supporting me over on Patreon. So that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all again next time for some farming features.